This is Plant-Based Briefing, 7 Ways to Replace Meat with Whole Food Ingredients by Veronica O'Brien at veganswaps.com. And I'm Marian Erickson. This is the curated content plant-based podcast where I narrate articles on healthy, compassionate, and sustainable living with permission in about 10 minutes or less every weekday. And I'm pleased to have permission from Veg News to share their content. So now let's get to today's Plant-Based Briefing. 7 Ways to Replace Meat with Whole Food Ingredients by Veronica O'Brien at veganswaps.com. This comprehensive list of healthy and delicious vegan substitutes will help satisfy your every meat craving. In an average supermarket today, it is easier than ever to find vegan products to supplement your meals. There seems to be a name brand replacement for every type of dairy, egg, and meat product you could possibly ever want, and the range of choices is growing by the day. In fact, by 2030, the plant-based foods market is set to hit more than $162 billion, reports Bloomberg. But if you're craving something meaty, you don't always have to splash out on a vegan protein alternative. Instead, you could try a simple whole food plant-based ingredient like tofu or mushrooms and get a similar meaty texture. Plus, they're nutritious and just as tasty too. Is vegan meat healthy? When compared with animal meat, research suggests that plant-based meat is the healthier option. In 2022, for example, one report published in Future Foods, linked here, looked at 43 studies of plant-based foods and concluded that plant-based meat is healthier and more sustainable than animal products. It's a good source of protein and can sometimes contain vitamins, but vegan meat is not perfect. Despite the incredible advances that plant-based producers have made over recent years, there's still huge potential to improve their taste, texture, and how they cook. Report author Chris Bryant, PhD, said, "There's also enormous potential to innovate with ingredients and processes to improve their nutritional properties, for example, by boosting vitamin content." So while vegan meat is considered by many to be better for you than animal meat, it still has a little way to go in terms of nutritional value. But good news, you can still get that meaty taste and boost your nutrition simultaneously because there are plenty of meaty, nutritious, whole food ingredients to choose from. Find out more below. What tastes like meat but isn't meat? If you're new to a plant-based lifestyle or even an experienced vegan looking to shake things up, search no further than these 7 affordable plant-based foods. All of these can be prepared and cooked to taste like meat without the animals. Number 1, tempeh. Tempeh has become fairly standard in most supermarkets and hip all-day eateries, but what actually is it? Tempeh is a soy-based plant protein that originated in Indonesia. Tempeh is a great replacement for bacon and tastes delicious in a BLT or as a side for your pancakes in the morning. It's simple to prepare, just slice, season, and sauté. But if that sounds too intensive, you can find pre-seasoned variations in most grocery stores. All you have to do is warm it up in a skillet. Tempeh can be an awesome choice for picky eaters or newer vegans because it has a very inoffensive taste. While it does not aim to replicate the taste or exact texture of meat, with the right seasoning, it can still hit the spot. As you begin to expand your plant-based palate, incorporating tempeh will help you increase your creativity and allow you to experience foods in new and interesting ways. Check out this recipe for miso mustard tempeh. Number 2, jackfruit. Despite its status as a tropical fruit, jackfruit surprisingly makes another good substitute for meat. It is most often used as a pork substitute in dishes such as barbecued pulled pork or carnitas tacos. Cooking jackfruit is a bit more challenging than tempeh or tofu, but the tasty rewards are worth it. Alternatively, you can easily pick up a package of pre-prepared jackfruit that comes marinated and ready to heat and eat. Whether you've been plant-based for years or for days, if you've not yet added jackfruit to your diet, it's an essential must-try for your next meal plan. Check out this recipe, smoky vegan barbecued pulled jackfruit sliders. Number 3, tofu. What kind of list would this be if it didn't include the oldest and most universal of vegan meat analogs? Most people have at least tried tofu, but the majority do not realize how many different ways it can be prepared to enhance a meal. Tofu can be used to make plant-based versions of anything from frittatas to crepes to ricotta. It can be used to substitute chicken, beef, eggs, and more. Even if you do not like tofu seasoned and crisped up by itself, it can also be blended, roasted, and mashed beyond recognition into something genuinely delicious. Tofu is arguably the most versatile of any vegan foods, perhaps any food in general. And even if you don't like it one way, never give up on it, because you may find that with an open mind, it can be used to recreate your favorite meals. Check out this recipe, spicy oven-fried tofu. Number 4, beans. Here's to the plant-based pioneers who gifted the world with the knowledge of the delicious diversity of the humble bean. Most omnivores are oblivious to its vast culinary applications, and it's a darn shame. When seasoned, mashed, and combined with a vegetable or flax egg binder, beans can transform into meaty sausages, thick vegan meatloaf, or super moist vegan burgers. Beans can also replicate ground beef in the form of plant-based sloppy joes. Spare yourself some time and purchase the canned variety. When you're adding seasoning and other ingredients, few will be able to tell they're not homemade. Stock up on black beans, pinto beans, garbanzo beans, lentils, and more to begin your at-home bean butchery. Check out this recipe for ancho-spiced barbecue burgers. Number 5. Seitan. Technically, seitan is a type of wheat, but it is far from the array of carbs you find lining the bread aisle. Seitan is yet another great protein-packed vegan meat substitute, and it excels in imitating the texture of chicken. It is possible to make your own seitan from a bag of vital wheat gluten, vegetable broth, and spices, but it's far easier to purchase plain or even marinated seitan from the store, as the seitan making process takes several hours. Like many plant-based foods, seitan takes on the seasoning, marinade, and sauce that accompanies it, making the culinary possibilities extend as far as your spice cabinet. You can cook it how you want, season it how you want, and throw whatever sauce you like on it to satisfy your current cravings. Foods like this make being vegan not just easy, but more delicious than you could ever have imagined. Check out this recipe for vegan white bean and seitan pozole. Number 6. Mushrooms. Mushrooms are delicious, nutritious, versatile, and pretty meaty too. King oyster mushrooms in particular have a soft, meaty texture, and they're rich in fiber and protein, as well as vitamins and minerals. Portobello, lion's mane, and chicken of the woods are a few more examples of meaty mushrooms. In fact, the latter gets its name from its texture and flavor, which is very similar to chicken. For more on how to cook with mushrooms, we've put together a guide on how best to use 15 different types in vegan cooking, linked here. And check out this recipe, tangy vegan grilled king oyster mushroom skewers. And number 7, cauliflower. It might seem unlikely, but trust us, when prepared and cooked in the right way, cauliflower can resemble meat. When it is ground up with walnuts and spices, for example, it can form a tasty taco meat that tastes just like ground beef, only it's totally plant-based and bursting with nutrients like fiber, vitamin C, vitamin K, and vitamin B6. And while it's not totally identical, cauliflower can also make a good chicken wing alternative too, particularly when it's coated in crunchy, crispy batter and the right blend of herbs and spices. Check out this recipe, Vegan Everything Buffalo Cauliflower Bites. You just listened to 7 Ways to Replace Meat with Whole Food Ingredients from Veronica O'Brien at veganswaps.com, and I'm your host, Marian Erickson, and oh my gosh, I put a link to the original post in the show notes, so you've got to check out the photos and the recipes mentioned in this list. And you can also Google any of these with the word vegan recipe, and there are so many amazing options that come up. When the article mentioned seitan being difficult, yes, it can be, but Brigitte Jam at Vegan Family Kitchen has my favorite ever beefy seitan recipe. So easy. I make a double batch and stick one in the freezer usually, and it doesn't taste like chicken, has some great recipes as well. I make her seitan turkey roast for Thanksgiving and for holiday meals. It's pretty simple, actually, and it's wrapped in a skin of rice paper. It's really delicious. If anyone wants some of my favorite recipes, feel free to email me. You can find my email at plantbasedbriefing.com in the footer of every page. So please share this episode with anyone who might benefit, and thanks for listening.